Hey, my happy shiny puppies. This is Melody Fletcher, your go-to for everything law of attraction and reality creation. And today I've got a treat for you. What follows is an excerpt from one of our live Q&A calls where people just like you, students just like you, were able to ask me questions and I answered them. And today you're going to get one of those. And as you see in the coming weeks, we're going to be rolling out more and more of these. And if you'd like the chance to be a part of one of these Q&A calls for free, then stay to the end of the video and I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. All right, I'll see you on the other side. Bye.
So the big question is this: how do we, those of us who feel deep down that we're much more powerful than we've been led to believe, and that there is something to this law of attraction stuff, actually create our own realities? What's the process of simply stepping into the reality of our choice? What about those of us who need this process to make logical, intellectual sense? My name is Melody Fletcher. You've got questions about the technology of reality, and I've got the answers. Welcome to my channel where the law of attraction finally makes some freaking sense.
Yeah, I think we got you. There she is. Hello.
Hello. So I wrote my question down so I can try to focus and be as succinct as I can. Okay, so I deeply resonate with your reality creation teachings. I've learned so much from you and other teachers about all this, and it's helped me get myself out of some horribly dark and hopeless times. Most of the time now I feel a lot of clarity and more powerful in this work, but there are days, and today is one of them, where I feel confused and doubtful and like I have no idea what is really true or real. It's like I've forgotten most of what I've learned and I feel a bit lost, confused and unsure about all of it again. How do I deal with this other than just allowing and feeling it? How do I really know what is true? Is there such a thing as truth at all? And do you ever experience times where you still feel confusion and doubt? I hope that is clear enough.
Okay. Do I still have times where I feel confusion and doubt? Oh, God, yes. Are you kidding me? Of course. Yeah. It's not so fundamental anymore. It's not, I'm not confused about the same things anymore. But you have to understand that whenever you're going from, okay, let me explain this to you this way. Whenever you're going from one reality to another, yeah, it's like there's a little zone in between, no man's land in between, right? And so you're going from one to the other, and they're different, depends on how different they are, but you're going to have to go through this bit of chaos where you're not here and you're not there. And one kind of seems to be true, and this could be whatever, the belief that, I don't have any money and I want to have money, or I'm not thin and I want to be thin, or I want a boyfriend, I don't have a boyfriend, whatever it is, this is true for me, this belief, or maybe this belief is true for me. And that transition period can be a little bit chaotic depending on how far we're going. Now, if you think about this polarity of this is the one, this is the other, you got to go through the middle. There's always chaos, there's always confusion, and you learn to make peace with that chaos and confusion. Now, when we look at it from a perspective of moving from really 4D to 5D, yeah, not 3D, where it's actually 4D, but it doesn't matter, or you're moving from the lower end of the spectrum to the upper end of the spectrum, yeah, you're going from powerlessness to empowerment, you have to go over the threshold. That is a zone like that. It's not a point, it's a zone. Yeah. And it's a big shift you're making. Like I always say, it's like 180 degrees different. It's like everything gets flipped on its head. So it takes the mind a while, and you do a little bit of a do-si-do. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You feel like it gets attractive. Oh, maybe 3D is correct. Oh, no, it's not. That doesn't feel comfortable at all. This now feels true to me. And so you asked, is there one truth? There is not. And how do you know what is right? You don't. You don't. You cannot have somebody prove this stuff to you. We're not there yet. Yeah. And quite frankly, no one's ever going to be proving it to you unless you open yourself up to it. Yeah. So you can't prove this to yourself. You can't prove it to anybody else, but you can get to the point where you know it just because you've engaged with it long enough and it works for you, and that becomes your proof, but it's very personal. It's not for other people. Yeah. I can't prove anything to you. Right. When I say I talk to the dead, how do I prove that to you? I cannot. Right. Yeah. So, you can believe it or you don't believe it, but if the information it comes to is helpful to you, then use it. Doesn't matter if it actually came from your dead mom, even though I say it did, but yeah, I can't prove that to you. And so, how how do you know what the truth is? Well, yeah, the truth is subjective. There's no objective truth. There's no one version of everything that's true and everything else is false. Yeah. There is, what is your truth? What feels true to you in that moment? And you have to understand that the shift you're making is a really big one. It's a really significant one. And so it's like, you've been here. This is kind of safe because it's familiar. Maybe not fun, but safe and familiar. And then there's this other point, and now you got to swim across this ocean. And you don't know what's in that ocean. Could there be sharks in that ocean? I don't know. There could be vines in there. How deep is it? Oh, how long is it longer than I think it might be? I can't even quite see it because I'm still in the fog. My little island's in the fog and I can't quite see there. And it's scary. So you might start off really confidently, swim, and then suddenly be like, I don't know, now I'm drowning because I'm not tense. No, I found some driftwood. It's okay. Maybe I'll go back a little bit. Oh, I can see the island again. Okay, just catch my breath. Okay. Oh no, I can't stand it here anymore. I'm gonna go for that other island. Whee! Oh, I got scared again. I guess you see how it's a back and forth and how you eventually get there. Right? And it's like that. We do this little dance, this little do-si-do as we go through this zone. And, I make it sound funny and cute, but it's terrifying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because the doubts come in and you're like, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm insane. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe, nobody else around me believes this. Nobody thinks that we create our own reality and that we're powerful, creative beings. So maybe I'm really the weird one. Maybe I've been the weird one all my life. Maybe I've been right all along that I'm shit and they got it. And you know what? And then after a while you go, because you know what? I've been down this road. I've tried to conform. I've tried to do it their way. It doesn't work for me. And you know what? If truth be told, it doesn't work for them either. None of them are happy and complete and fulfilled. Yeah. So yeah, no. And when I hear this stuff, when I hear somebody talking about it, it feels true to me. It resonates to the very soul of my being. So you know what? Yeah. And this is the dance we do because it's stepping in, choosing that belief over and over and over again, choosing your own truth over and over and over again. And as you do that, you get to the place where you know it. So do I still doubt that this is real? No. But did I for a long time, momentarily here and there? Yeah. And I had to make that choice over and over again. It's like, well, you know what? I don't have anything better. Like, what's the alternative if this ain't it? And it's working. So, that's the thing I kept coming back to is it's working. It's working. It's working for me. It's working for a ton of other people. Then why do I need to go looking for something else? Like, this might be it. I'm not going to go out into the world and say, this is it for everyone, but this works for me. And that's all I'm sharing. Yeah. And in those moments when the doubt came up, and it doesn't anymore, but that's because I've been at this and I've chosen this many, many, many times. Yeah. And I still get confused and doubtful about other stuff. Of course I do. Right. Every time you level up, you do. Yeah. But it's easy to, it's very attractive. Those doubts are very attractive. 3D is very attractive. And it's kind of like molasses and it wants to keep you and hold you and you got to claw your way out of it. Right. And sometimes you backslide a little bit and that's okay. Yeah. Because it is making that decision over and over and over again of choosing your own truth instead of choosing everybody else's truth, which isn't even their truth. It's just a truth that they keep trying to tell you is true. Yeah. And that is a statement that has many, many, many layers to it because you don't even know how true that becomes, choosing your own truth and how weird it can get. Yeah. Where you have to way surpass any if I told anybody this, they'd lock me away because this is how crazy people talk, but I understand every word of it. So I'm just going to go with it. Right. It can get super, super weird, but you work your way up to that because it's not really weird. It's just, there's a lot more going on here than we realized. And as you get a bigger and bigger view of it, things do start to make more sense as well. Picture, the puzzle pieces come together a little bit more, but it's normal to have these doubts. It's normal to have these fears. You have to just kind of keep at it and keep going through that process until you get through to the other side because it is very attractive. It's very clingy. Yeah. That 3D reality. And so you're going to, you're going to be fine until something goes wrong. And then something goes a little bit wrong and then back you want to go because those are solutions. So, your knee hurts. oh God, my knee hurts. Maybe I should go to the doctor. And and whatever he tells me, then I'll have surgery. And then you're overriding anything. You're not doing a gut check. You're not checking, how do I actually feel about this? Because maybe if you did, you'd have been like, oh, my knee's fine. And the next day you wake up and it is, right? It was just some kind of healing reaction, something that was going on. But if you go back into 3D, you might overreact. You might not check in with yourself. You might go into your worst fear. Yeah. Until you get a doctor who's a total asshole to you and you're like, why am I talking to the doctor? And you manifest that perfectly, right? And then you get back on track. So was that helpful? Did it answer your question about doubts and fears? And
yeah, I think so. Like I just need to keep going through it. I'm in it. And
yeah,
because it's, yesterday I felt pretty empowered and I was like, it's like, I'll feel like, oh my gosh, I'm reaching a new height kind of a feeling. And then nothing really even happened. And you wake up feeling like, oh my God, I have no idea. Where am I? What is happening? What am I?
Yeah. It's the do-si-do that's happening here. Yeah. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but you're still moving forward. Yeah. It just, I know it's so unsatisfying because you're like, why? I guess it's the energy balancing itself.
Right.
Yeah. It's not that you did anything wrong, but your reaction to it will determine how big this gets.
Yeah.
Or how it just keeps going away. Yeah. So if you wake up in a day like that and you beat up on yourself or you worry about it, that can help perpetuate that energy. But if you're like, you know what, this is just one of those days where I took a step back, but that's okay. Do-si-do, next step's coming right up. Yeah. Right. I don't even know how to do the do-si-do. I just know that term. I know it's a dance.
So feeling it really is the best way. You just
feeling it and not worrying about it. Don't blow it out of proportion. Don't stress out about having a bad day.
Right.
Yeah. And if something specific comes up, well, then you deal with that. Mm-hmm. But if it's just a general feeling of melancholy and you're like, don't worry about it too much, especially if you can see that you've been making forward progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not the same thing as being in a hole for 6 weeks and you don't even know what your own name is anymore and you can't crawl out of it. That's not a do-si-do. That's a freaking depression is what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're kind of going up and then you have a bad day that comes in, and bad day, but not an awesome day. Isn't that awesome? You're like, it's not awesome, which means it's a bad day. Like,
that's true.
Doesn't take much anymore, does it?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, right. Thank you. That's helpful.
Thank you, my love. Thank you for playing with me. Appreciate it. Look at you. You made it all the way to the end of the video. Good for you. So if you'd like a chance to be part of these Q&A calls that we do for free, then all you have to do is get onto my email list. People on my email list get free gifts like this. In fact, I'll even give you another free gift for getting onto my email list, which changes periodically. So I'm not going to tell you what it is so that I can change it, but just check the description down below. Get onto my email list, get your valuable free gift, and you will be invited to take part of one of these Q&A calls yourself where you can ask me whatever you want. Sound like a good deal? I think so. So sign up now, get invited to Q&A call, and get your own answers. Until then, enjoy the videos every week. Thank you for bringing your light to the world. Bye.